But let's move on now to story number 2. The state of Tamil Nadu has been increasingly seeing cases of student suicides. Amidst this, schools in Coimbatore are attempting to absolve themselves in case of such cases. Now, the schools have actually asked parents to sign letters which say that in case such an incident occurs, the school cannot be blamed and that no claims can be made against the school. In light of this, the Coimbatore district administration now has reined in several of the private schools who did this, and the district education officer has ordered schools to refrain from asking parents to write such letters. Schools have also been told that they will be held responsible for the safety of students inside the school premises. Dharani is joining us first for more details here. Dharani, take us through, what exactly has been the ramification of this, because schools, when parents send their children to school, they assume that they are going to be safe, but now parents having to sign this kind of a letter obviously rings alarm bells.
Well, this is very unfortunate and bizarre. In fact, in the last couple of months, Tamil Nadu has been seeing a series of 7 to 8 students in class 12. They committed suicide for various reasons in various bits of Karnataka. It's been very unfortunate, but however, so they issued letters to parents mentioning that if anything unfortunate happens to their children, like an injury or...
All right, Dharani, my apologies. There seems to be some audio issue. We will try and get that sorted. But let me welcome our guests who are joining us to talk more about this entire issue. Advocate Anubha Sahai, President, India-Wide Parents Association, JP Gandhi, Educationist, and Dr. K.R. Maalathi, Educationist as well. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us. Anubha Sahai, let me come to you first. As a parent, what is your reaction to something like this? I can only imagine it would be shocking to receive this kind of a letter asking for any parent to really sign it and question the safety of their child in school.
Absolutely, this is totally illegal and unethical. How can any school just say that we are not responsible for anything which happens inside the school premises? Yes, whatever happens outside school premises, schools will never be held responsible. But if anything, any incident occurs inside school premises, then definitely, be it a suicide or a rape or anything which happens inside the school premises, the school management and the authorities, they should be held responsible. And it is mandatory under RT Act also that they have to appoint some counselors also. If any child is going through any kind of mental trauma or anything is there, CCTVs they need to install inside the school premises, but very few schools implement all those guidelines. So definitely there's a immediate intervention which is required from the government side. As far as these schools are concerned, they should definitely take action against such schools so that in future the schools will not take it lightly. And as far as these cases are concerned, suicide or any other incident.
Absolutely. Dr. Maalathi, coming to you in terms of the way it was being done, the fact that schools have been, asking parents to sign such letters, what is your own perspective?
Certainly, it doesn't sound good be it an educationist or as a parent. It really doesn't sound good. But if you look at the letter which was framed, it talks about the vandalism or about the other the disaster to the property which happens. I think it mentioned about it. It was very unfortunate that this letter had come. When such a big incident had happened at Kallakurichi. Definitely, it is not a welcome letter at all. But all that we need to understand from the perspective of the schools also, it is not that everybody can take rights from the public perspective. When there is an incident happens, definitely schools take up responsibility. They understand within the school campus, whatever happens, it is definitely the responsibility. But at the same time, these incidents also have certain side effects. It does not happen only with the pressure from the schools at all. There are so many other factors which are involved in, for these things to happen. So there could be many other reasons. I definitely agree with you that this letter is definitely not a welcome sign when it says that, the parents, cannot question schools. I definitely don't welcome this.
Okay. Mr. Gandhi, your perspective here on this entire issue, because at the end of the day, for a student, for anyone really to take this kind of a drastic step as taking their own lives, it's obviously a multitude of issues. It could be at home, could be related to school. How does one sort of, work their way around such situations?
No, first of all, the school has to take 100% responsibility. When a student enters a school campus, it is the responsibility of the school management and the teachers to make sure they are 100% safe. If they found something really, see, the teacher has to have a close follow. They feel they can physically or mentally they can assess the student by the face itself. If they feel something is wrong, they have to find out from their friends. They have to have a counselor to counsel them. They have to call the parents. The parents teacher associations should be should be associated. Nowadays, none of the schools, most of the schools never have involved PTA. Just for namesake, they do it. They have to involve the parents and the teachers together every month. And today, what happened is, if you look at the Asim Premji Research Foundation thing, the learning ability after the COVID situation has come down. The pressure on the children is so much. Today, they're not able to learn the way they learned 2 years before. And now there are a lot of new and lot of entrance examination. They have to learn board exam. They have to learn entrance exam. School is giving pressure because they have to have the brand name. If the result goes down, they really in trouble because the competition is fierce. So they don't want to take any responsibilities. In that case, first of all, the school has to really make sure, and also government also has to play a support role to make sure the students, this time at least little bit liberal in the next 1 or 2 years, till the students come back to the normal ability to learn. Otherwise we are going to expect these type of things to happen. So one thing, the thing is very clear, the school has to take responsibility. They should have a counselor 100% at least for the next 2-3 years till this learning ability comes back, because today students are exposed to social media tremendously. They are seeing what is not to be seen. They are getting influenced by this, which was not 2 years before, because now everybody has to learn through mobile. They're forced to learn through online. All this has added the fuel in the fire. So they have to really take actions. They have to take the precautionary actions to make sure that the child is safety. They have to motivate so that these things doesn't happen in future.
Yes, absolutely. Dr. Maalathi, speaking specifically about Tamil Nadu, we have seen a number of incidents of students taking their own lives, whether it is with respect to NEET, whether it is with respect to other issues. In some cases, there has been the blame falling on the school as well. But obviously, there is a larger issue that needs to be addressed here in terms of such cases.
Exactly. To add on to what Mr. Gandhi said, the learning curve has dipped post-COVID. So the expectation from the parents have not changed and the pressure on the schools have not changed. Now this again causing, I wouldn't say that it is happening only in Tamil Nadu, it is also happening, maybe it is getting highlighted in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu always known for the standard of education, and the reason for parents to get into the private school is knowing that, my child would somehow get through this. Now, the incidents which are happening at this point of time, parents have not been counseled enough that there is a shift in the learning attitude of the children towards the board examination or towards the entrance examination. Now, there had been false promises made by the government and by the media, stating that there are not going to be entrance examination at all, and then by which children were carried away. And finally, they were given up, when they heard that entrance examinations are going to be there, they are not able to take up the pressure. Now, that is the reason which is pushing the children towards this drastic decision. And parents at home who feels that, it cannot be managed. If you look at the number of residential schools which are coaching children with less number of sleep, I think, that has also increased in number. And then there is a less monitoring mechanism by the government for these schools. All these things have led to the, what we are seeing today in the past few months, the number of children who have taken the drastic decision.
Anubha Sahay, your perspective here, of course, these cases in Tamil Nadu seem have happened quite a lot. But in your view also, with respect to what both your other panelists are saying about the learning curve post-COVID, what has been your own observation?
Yeah, I do agree with both the panelists. And yes, there is a lot of pressure in students. And as far as teachers are concerned, I have seen in last 2 years, they have really worked very hard. They at all the schools, in most of the schools, private schools, government schools, so we know how is the quality of education. But in private schools, teachers have really worked hard in past 2 years. Now, because of all the exams, entrance exams, students were out of school. So there's a lot of pressure on students. So government need to intervene now as far as the entrance exams are concerned, board exams are concerned. We have been writing to the government to give some kind of relaxation to all these students, for be it any NEET aspirant, JEE aspirant, or even 10th and 12th board students. when they will reduce the portion, or they may come up with various kind of exams which they need to be conducted. But there is a lot of pressure I can see in last few months on students as well as on parents. And my appeal to the parents also, that they should not put so much pressure on students as far as the entrance exams is concerned, as far as the board exams are concerned, because life is very important. If you will lose your child, then you don't have anything else to do. So no doubt there's pressure on school, on parents and teachers also. Government need to step in as far as the entrance exams are concerned. They need to take up a call. Recently, you will not believe that in CUET around 50 lakh students appeared, but the exam got postponed and cancelled because of the technical error. So all these things are happening, which is putting a lot of pressure on students, especially board students and all these NEET, JEE and CUT aspirants. So I think the government should step in, should take some call. They should not do anything in hurry, like whatever exams they're conducting, holding such exams. They should give more opportunities to all these students who are board students or any students who are applying for any kind of entrance exam. And I think for another next 2-3 years, we need to work more on bringing the students back to school. And as far as their mental health is concerned, we need to focus more on that instead of focusing more on academics and putting more pressure to clear the entrance exams. Because see, in Kota also, in some other coaching centers also, students have committed suicide. So definitely the blame goes not only to schools and other authorities, but also to the government.
Yes, absolutely. And Mr. Gandhi, that's also an important point. While, of course, we want our children to be safe when they go to schools, and sending out such letters and asking parents to sign is absolutely uncalled for and should not be done. But at the same time, when a student is going through any kind of turmoil, it is also the responsibility of what's happening at home, the responsibility of parents as well.
Definitely, no doubt, parents has to play a greater role. In fact, I keep telling many schools, when you have career guidance program, please call up parents and do it. Parents should know what are the careers. Only medicine, engineering is not the end of the game. There are lot new careers are coming up. Only thing the parents doesn't ever, even when they go, children go and tell them, no, you prepare for entrance exam. They put pressure. This is only clean. See, we need to really educate them. We need to, today's technology today, so many opportunities are there. So first of all, we make sure that the school has to take responsibility, make sure the parents know about the other careers, other opportunities. Even a student with got lower marks, we should show the way to them. We should not only, the school should not act only for the toppers. They should even act for the people, guide them. So they get the confidence, so they know that, yes, there is a way for it.
Absolutely. Thank you, all of you, for joining us with your perspective. This is an extremely crucial issue and extremely unfortunate every time a student feels the pressure that they need to take their own lives. The responsibility falls squarely both on the parents as well as on the school to see that the child is safe.